Hey guys, Quickcaster here, and today Stia just dropped, and with that, some new urgent quests. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Nils Vera Suppression op, one of those urgent quests. For this, I'm just going to let the urgent quest footage kind of play out without any commentary, and then at the end, going to give my final thoughts on the urgent quest, as well as kind of explaining some of the mechanics, because there actually are a couple things to look out for in terms of that. But if you want to participate in this mission yourself, you need to have at least 2972 battle power and be around level 67. And then one last thing before we get into it is that I checked the quest counter to see if there is a trigger version of this. And unfortunately for the Stia urgent quest, there is no triggers for them right at the moment, but maybe later down the line, maybe a couple months from now. But without further ado, here is the Nils Vera Suppression op.
Trial start. Success. Trial start. NGS.
What'd you guys think of that? In my opinion, I think this fight is actually pretty good. I don't know if it's like the best thing out there, but honestly, I really liked the main boss fight with Nils Vera, and just kind of like leading up to the boss fight, kind of Nils Vera showing up on the sides trying to attack you. It was a really nice touch. The only thing with that, though, that I didn't really like is that it took quite a while to actually get to the main boss fight, and the main boss fight itself took quite a while. I don't know if that's just because we were doing this for the first time and not everybody's like quite geared yet with Stia just since it's day one, but it felt like it was a little bit longer than what it should have been. But maybe that's also because of all the mechanics within the fight, which I actually enjoyed with those. So it seems like there's these like ice shards, ice bombs that show up, and you need to hit them with a fire element to be able to use them yourself against the boss. So it's kind of almost like Luther from base game, where you needed to use like the wind or light element to open up his clock, kind of similar to that kind of mechanic, where you need to use a specific element to be able to do extra damage against the boss, basically. Because it looked like when you grabbed those fire shards and the fire bombs, once you converted them, you could throw them at the different parts, like on the legs or like the head pieces. And when you hit those, it actually like weakened them to let them be a weak point, and then when you shattered them, it just revealed like more weak points as well, like on the head. And when you shattered 2 of the leg pieces, it guaranteed a like down phase pretty much. And then you could just hit the weak point on its back, which that's kind of like the main weak point to focus. So it seems like because of this fire weakness mechanic, there's going to be a lot of emphasis on having forces or tectors or whoever can do techniques for this mechanic, because other classes are kind of just going to be dead in the water and can't do much about it. Unless if they get that new Effulgent weapon series, the new 8-star series that has the fire element on it. I'm not exactly sure we can get that yet. Maybe in the Urgent Quest themselves, or maybe somewhere else it can just drop. I'm not quite sure yet. But it kind of forces those classes to use a specific weapon, while these other technique classes can just, switch to fire elements and to be just fine. Honestly, for myself, I don't mind this kind of thing. It kind of gives different roles to the element users, and then the other people can like focus on damaging the boss or picking up those converted items to throw at the boss. But then there's also another mechanic which I'm kind of a fan of, is when it goes into that enraged state, it grows 2 heads. So kind of like you focus on one side, one on the other. But there's also a point where it spawns a giant ice bomb, and if you let it go like off, you're gonna like get hit a lot if you don't end up like countering it or dodging it. But if you do enough damage to that ice bomb, you can actually get another down. So it seems like it rewards a lot in terms of paying attention to like what's going on. So like with the different things getting thrown onto the floor, the boss itself, it just feels like a really good fight. And if they go in this direction more with these urgent quests, I think I'll enjoy pretty much every single one. But now let's talk about the rewards. So with the guaranteed capsule that you get, it is the Nils Soul 4. With this, it is a technique capsule, kind of like Amsol a little bit. With this, it has 15 HP, 5 photon power, 3% technique, but then it also has the negative all down resistance minus 10%. This deals with like your status like resistance, so it minuses 10% just like that, kind of like the other glass cannon armors in the game. But that's pretty nice to have for technique users. But then within the quest itself, you can actually get like might 4s or like precision 4s and technique 4s. So it's like really nice for getting these as well, instead of trying to do like mining rig alio or trying to do field races, which is just a pain. But then for other rewards, you can get like some strugments and there's some common capsules like Doll Soul or whatever. But then in terms of like the common drops for like weapons, kind kind of like how Resurger was the one for Kavaris UQs, Setchidal is what is going to be given out in this UQ, as well as the Guriaga weapon series. So not the fanciest stuff there, but Setchidal I think is still usable because it's like a pretty good mobbing weapon, where it's even better than some 7 stars in terms of doing like combat zones. But then for the rare drops, I'm not quite sure yet. There's probably some hidden weapon camo, and maybe like I said before, you can get the Fulgent weapon series, or maybe some other hidden like rugged weapon that it's going to be probably like impossible for me to get. But yeah, that's pretty much like the majority of the rewards. What are you guys' thoughts on this? If you have anything, then just comment down below. But also with the other urgent quest, the Daldaris UQ, I'll be doing a video on that as well once I get it to appear in game. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.